Alright, so for our math lesson today, we're actually going to keep rolling with subtraction, except this time, instead of counting with our fingers like we learned last time, this time we're actually going to learn with, let me cover my box so you can't see it, drum roll please. Our base 10 blocks, very good. So when we practice addition, we practice with our fingers, and we also practice with our base 10 blocks. We're gonna do the same exact thing with subtraction, okay? So before we get into that though, I'm gonna go ahead and play a Go Noodle for you so that you're moving your body and you're waking your brains up all at the same time, okay? But before I wanna play it, I want to review the rules of our Go Noodle. Remember, our Go Noodle is not only for you to have fun, but also for you to start thinking about math. So during this time, you're not touching anybody else. Our hands, arms, and feet are to ourselves, okay? And our volume is at a level 1 so that we're not distracting the class across from us or the class next to us, okay? So again, volume at a level 1, and our hands and arms are to ourselves. I want you to sing and I want you to dance along with Mr. Hartman, but I also want you to remember our rules of our Go Noodle so that we can keep going, okay? So, without further ado, go ahead and push in your chairs and stand up. All right, here is Mr. Hartman's subtraction action. You've heard this before, so you should know the words by now.
Children's songs, sing and move along. Children's songs, make your brain and body strong.
Move those bodies, wake those brains up. There's our friend.
Subtraction, action, this is how you play. Move your body and take away. When you subtract things, you get the difference. Let's do subtraction, move and have fun. 4 bald eagles are gliding through the air. 2 bald eagles fly down and land somewhere. How many bald eagles are gliding through the air? 4 minus 2 equals 2. 3 alligators are swimming in the lake. 2 alligators go on the grass and take a break. How many alligators are swimming in the lake? 3 minus 2 equals 1. 10 fast runners are running in a race. 5 fast runners finish at record pace. How many fast runners are still running in the race? 10 minus 5 equals 5. 8 bodybuilders are pumping up some weights. 5 bodybuilders stop and take a break. How many bodybuilders are still pumping up some weights? 8 minus 5 equals 3. Subtraction, action.
Move those bodies, wake those brains up.
Move your body and take away. When you subtract things, you get the difference. Let's do subtraction, move and have fun.
All right,
You
go
like
ahead
this video,
and
be sure to
come have a
give
seat
it
at the front.
thumbs
I'm looking
up
for friends who are
and
following
leave me a comment
directions.
below.
Showing me quiet bodies. All right, thank you, Kaylee, for following directions and coming to the carpet quietly. She's at her carpet spot. Her hands are to herself, her legs are Indian style, so all of her other classmates can fit. Thank you so much. Thank you, Colby, for coming to the carpet quietly, having a seat, showing me that he is ready for math today. All right, so now that I have all of my first graders sitting at the carpet quietly ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our subtraction lesson for today. So, I have a couple favorites, and you already know this because I've already mentioned it. I love toys, and I love Toy Story, okay? So today's lesson is entirely Toy Story themed because Toy Story is amazing, okay? So that being said, raise your hand if you have seen the new Toy Story 4 movie. If you have Disney Plus, it's on it. Raise your hand if you've seen that new Toy Story 4 movie. Yeah, it's pretty good. Go ahead and put your hands down. Okay, now raise your hand if you have ever had a toy taken away from you. Maybe by mom or dad, because you brought it to the kitchen table, or maybe by your little sister because she wanted to play with it too. All right, go ahead and put your hands down. Remember, when we subtract, we do what? We take away. Very good. So to subtract means to take away. I take away, you don't have it there anymore, right? So if I took away your Buzz Lightyear, how would you feel? You probably wouldn't like it, right? So let's say I have 5 Buzz Lightyears. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say I have 5 Buzz Lightyears. I got 5 Buzz Lightyears for my birthday. But then my little brother wanted to take away 2 of them to play with his friends. So I don't have this Buzz Lightyear anymore, and I don't have this Buzz Lightyear anymore. How many Buzz Lightyears do I have left? Who can raise their hand and tell me? How many do I have left? Jesse. 3. Very good. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with Jesse. Give me a thumbs up. You have 3 more left. You should have a thumb up because I do have 3. Very good. I only have 3 left. So when we subtract, we take things away. They're not there anymore. Okay? So think about subtraction in terms of thinking about toys. When somebody takes away a toy from you, you don't have it anymore. Maybe you'll get it back when mom and dad give it to you, but you don't have it anymore. Okay? So let's review what we already learned about subtraction with counting with our fingers. Okay? Remember we have 10 fingers? So most of our problems are going to be dealing with 10 because you only have 10 fingers. You're not aliens. You don't have more than that. Alright, so let's go ahead and review with 6 minus 3. Remember when we subtract, we always start with this big number at the top. Okay? So go ahead and hold up a 6 for me because that's the number we're going to start with. This is nothing new to you. We already learned how to do it. Go ahead and start with 6. Alright, so I see all of my first graders holding up 6 little fingers. Very good. So now, say that I have 6 little aliens and I take away 3 of them. So take away 3 of those. Go ahead and hold up how many aliens I have left. How many aliens do I have? 3. Very good. I only have 3 left. 3 aliens. Very good. Whoops. 3. Very good. So say we have a new problem now. So they have 5 aliens. So this time I went in the claw machine and I got 5 of those aliens. Okay? Go ahead and hold up a 5 for me. Go ahead and hold up a 5. You can do it like this. You could do it like this. You could do it like this. This way is probably the easiest though, right? Alright, so go ahead and hold up a 5. So say that my claw machine picked up 5 of those. So this time I got 5. But on the way up, one of them dropped down. So this time I'm only going to get how many? So I have 5, then I took away one of those. How many do I have left? How many aliens do I have left? 4. Very good. I only have 4 left. So my answer of 5 minus 1 is 4. Very good. All right, so today, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to practice subtracting, but we're going to subtract with our math blocks, okay? So remember last time we did addition, we practiced with these same blocks. It's also called a base 10 block. I can call them whatever. But in this math stick, I have 10 individual cubes. I'm going to go ahead and use my pointer finger, and I'm going to count to make sure I have 10 of them. So how about you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 of them. Okay? So I'm going to practice just like I did with addition with subtraction with these math cubes. Okay? So my problem is 2 minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 2. I don't need all 10 of them. I only need 2 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down. So I have 2 of them. So say I have 2 Jessie dolls. Okay? I have 2 of them. But then I gave my sister 1 to play with. So I took my math cube away. So instead of adding the math cubes like we did with addition, this time I'm taking them away. Okay? So again, I have 2. I'm starting with 2. I gave my sister a Jessie doll to play with. How many do I have left? How many math cubes do I have left? 1. I have 1 math cube. Very good. So my answer for 2 minus 1 is 1. Let's do this black so you all can see. Very good. 2 minus 1 is 1. All right, I'm going to show you another example before we all practice together, okay? So remember when we do our math cubes, we put them all back together so that we have 10 to start with. Fresh slate, okay? Lucky for us, we have 10, right? Our next problem starts with 10, okay? So I already know I have 10 because I already counted them, so I don't have to count them again. So my new problem is 10 minus 7. So when I have minus 7, I have to take away 7 of them, okay? So I have 10 to start with, and I'm going to take away 7 of the cubes. I'm going to go ahead and count out loud to make sure that I have all of them, okay? So I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to set these down so I have extra hands. 5, 6, 7. Just like we did with addition, I'm going to point and I'm going to count to make sure I'm correct or counting correctly to see how many I have left. So I had 10 to start with and I took away 7 of those. Now how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3. Very good. Our answer is 3. So I have 3 Rex dinosaurs left. All right, so now we're going to practice all together. I am looking for my paper passer today. It looks like it's number 5. 5 is Kaylee. Kaylee, can you come up here and help me pass out our base 10 sticks? Kaylee, why don't you grab a friend and have them help you too so this just goes by a little bit faster? All right, very good. So Kaylee's going to come up and she's going to give, Kaylee and Kobe are going to come up actually and give each of you a base 10 stick. Remember, these are tools. What do we do with tools? We build things with tools, right? They're not toys. So if I see you playing with them, if I see you throw one, anything other than math. So if you're not following along with us, I'm probably going to take it away and have you go back to your seat. Okay? And you're just going to have to count with regular blocks. All right? So hopefully I don't have to do that. I didn't have to with my addition lesson, but I just wanted to let you know what's going to happen if you are playing with your blocks and you're not using them as a tool. Okay? So go ahead, Keely and Kobe, go ahead and pass them out to everybody so that everybody has a base 10 stick. All right, good job, Keely and Kobe. Everybody has one. So now we are going to go ahead and whisper count to make sure that we all have 10 cubes in our one big stick. Remember when we whisper count? We whisper just like this so that we're not distracting the person sitting next to us, okay? You could also count in your head, but I would like you to whisper count for this one so that you are not missing any of them, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show you how I want you to whisper count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So number 1, I whisper counted, and number 2, I used my finger and I pointed to each one of my blocks so that I didn't miscount, okay? So right now, I'm going to count to 1, 2, 3. Once I hit 3, I want you to go ahead and whisper count. Whisper count to make sure that you have 10 blocks. Once you have 10, give me a thumbs up. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Kaylee, for whisper counting. Oh, Micah remembered to hold up his stick. Very good. Thank you, Micah, for following directions. He's holding up his stick that he's got 10. If you don't have 10, go ahead and give me a thumbs down so that I can correct it and give you extra blocks. All right, so we magically got it sorted out, and everybody has a base 10 stick with 10 blocks in it. So now we can go ahead and start. So we're going to practice doing this together because we haven't practiced subtracting with math blocks yet. We've done addition, but we haven't done subtraction. So let's go ahead and start with 8 minus 2. Okay? Go ahead and count your blocks to make sure that you have 8 of them. Remember, go ahead and take off just like we did with addition. Take off the ones that you don't need. For me, I'm just going to set them on the floor because I don't have my table up here today. So go ahead and start. Make sure you have 8. All right, once you have 8, go ahead and give me a thumbs up because you're ready to take away. Ready to take away. All right, I see everybody has a thumb up, which tells me that they have 8 counted out. So now we're going to take away 2 from that 8. So go ahead and take away 2 of those blocks. Take away 2. All right, so same thing that I showed you earlier. I'm going to point and count to see how many I have left. So go ahead and point and whisper count to see how many blocks you have left. All right, who can raise your hand and tell me how many blocks do you have left? Jacob, how many blocks do you have left? 6. Give me a super duper smile if you agree with Jacob. Super duper smile if you agree with Jacob that you have 6. Very good. I'm going to super duper smile at Jacob back because I agree with that. And I think that we have 6 left. Very good. So go ahead and put all your blocks back together, just like we did with addition. Put all your blocks back together so now we have a clean slate. All right, our next problem is 10 minus 5. I did it again. 10 minus 5. So you already know you have 10 because you already counted them. So go ahead and take away 5 of those blocks. Take away 5. Hold up how many blocks you have left. Hold up how many? All right, Kaylee, how many blocks do you have left? 5 blocks. I agree with Kaylee. 5. All right, so now it's going to be your turn to practice subtracting with your math cube. So you have 2 problems. We're going to do the first one. We're going to stop and talk about it. And then we're going to do the second one and stop and talk about it. So your first one is 4 minus 2. Remember, we always start with the big number. So go ahead and count out 4 and subtract 2. You're doing this on your own. Once you have your answer, go ahead and hold up your cubes to see if you got it correct. Start with 4. Take away 2 of those. Alright, very good. So for the most part, I see everybody is holding up 2 cubes. I'm going to walk you through that one so we can all be on the same page. So I have 4 cubes to start with. I'm going to count them so you all agree that we have 4 to start with. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. And now I'm going to take away 2 of those. Take away 2. And how many do I have left? I have 2 cubes left. Very good. So you already know what to do. You're already putting your cubes back together. Very good. So the last one is on you. 10 minus 6. 10, take away 6. Remember, you got to start with that big number at the top. 10 minus 6. Remember, go ahead and hold up your cubes. Once you have an answer, lets me know that you are good to go. Make sure your eyes are on your own cubes, though, because looking at somebody else isn't going to help you very much. All right, let's go over it. So I have 10 cubes to start with. You know, my whole entire base 10 stick has 10 cubes in it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take away 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta put these down because my hands are very big. 5 and 6. How many cubes do I have left? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 4. Very good. So my answer is 4. What did we say my answer for 4 minus 2 was? 2. Thank you, Kobe. All right. So now go ahead and put your blocks all back together again. And go ahead and set them in, let's say, to your left side. Set them to your left side. You don't need them anymore for right now. So go ahead and set them down. Put your hands back in your laps. Very good. All right, 10, 9, 8 seconds to get those blocks put up and it back on your left side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. So again, your base 10 blocks should be on your left-hand side. You are not touching it because we are going over your Story Subtraction activity. All right, so this is exactly what you are doing. When we get done, I'm going to have Kaylee and Kobe pass them out because they're my paper passers for today. So here is your worksheet. You notice that you have 2 different sides, and I'm going to explain that. So your first side is the side you must do, okay? So it says Story Subtraction at the top, and then my directions say solve the problems below using your math cubes. So you have to use your math cubes to solve them. So for some of you, you're going to want to do your hands for this time. I want you to practice using the cubes because that's what strategy we're practicing today. Okay, so for some of you, you can probably do this in your head. Others of you, I want you to practice using the cube. So everybody, regardless, you are using the cube. So when I'm walking around, I want to see you pulling apart the cubes and putting them back together. Okay, so this first part is 6 questions, and you're just doing subtraction. Again, you know, you put your answers in the boxes. And then my bottom, this is kind of new. We did this with addition, but I also wanted to point it out what you're doing again. So all I have to do is solve the problem, and then I'm going to draw how many cubes I have left. You can just do a little square, okay? So this one says 8 minus 3. I would solve my problem, draw a picture. So same thing with this one, 10 minus 7, draw a picture. And that one's kind of tricky, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw and do an example over here so you know exactly what you're doing. So let me just make up a problem really fast so you know exactly what you are doing. Okay? So say that I have 7 minus 6. So I'm going to walk you through the entire thing and the picture part. Okay, so say my problem is 7 minus 6. I need my math cubes because that's the strategy that we're working with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my base 10 stick, and I'm going to go ahead and count out to make sure that I have 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to take off the rest because I don't need them. Okay, so our problem is 7. Take away how many? 6. So I'm going to take away 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So how many cubes do I have left? I have 1 cube. So my answer, as you already know, is going to go ahead and go in the box, right? Because that's where we put our answer. But then my second part is to draw a picture of how many cubes I have left. So how many cubes did I have? 1. So how many boxes am I going to draw? Just 1. And if you want to go ahead and cheat it in, you can. Okay? So again, this is a 2-parter. Let me go and put this down so I can show you. My first part is answering my problem with my cubes, and my second part is drawing my picture. And you're just going to draw your picture out to the side. Okay? Questions about this? Nope, just 2 parts. Picture and your answer. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to walk you through the rest of your assignment. So you'll have to do the first page. So for you, it's going to be front and back. You absolutely have to do the first page. It's 8 questions, and again, I want to see you using those cubes. The back page is all challenge problems. So say that you get finished really early. I don't want you to turn it in. I want you to try these challenge problems. So these challenge problems are actually numbers bigger than 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this extra tub of base 10 blocks over here. So once you get to this part, just come up and grab another stick. That's okay. Just make sure your colors stay the same. So all of my oranges should be together, and then all my blues should be together. Okay? So you're doing the same exact thing on this top part. You're just solving the problem and putting the answer in the box. And then my bottom one is actually a word problem. We haven't really done word problems yet. We did some with addition, but we haven't done some with subtraction yet. So I want you to go ahead and try that one. It says Woody has 4 shoes. He lost 2. How many shoes does Woody have left? I want you to go ahead and try it. I know it's really tricky, but I want you to go ahead and try it. So again, you have to do the first page, and then I want you to try the second page, but don't feel like you have to do it. Okay? So if you get done early, don't turn it in. I want you to try these back problems. Okay? Questions about what you are doing? Yes, no, maybe so? Alright, so when I say go, I want you to quietly get up with your base 10 block and head back to your seat. Because you are going to use your blocks to do your Toy Story subtraction today. Okay? Alright, go! Kaylee and Kobe, I'm going to have you come over here and be my paper passer, so everybody needs one of my handy dandy Toy Story sheets. Alright, Kaylee and Kobe are passing out your Toy Story subtraction. Go ahead and put your name on it once you get yours. Hi, I'm Kendall. You just watched my lesson on Toy Story subtraction, and I just kind of wanted to walk you through some of the things that I did, because if you were watching the teacher lesson, this is what I would do. I would explain why I was doing what I was doing. So the first thing I wanted to explain was kind of how I taught the lesson. I used direct instruction, so I do, we do together, and then you do. I think that's super important to use that strategy, especially for new concepts. And especially if you're bringing in new materials like these math blocks. I highlighted a couple times in the lesson that they would have already used them in addition, so this wouldn't be anything new other than using it to subtract. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. Another thing I wanted to mention, I didn't include it in the lesson after because I don't have students in here, but after I gave them the Toy Story subtraction, I would then be walking around monitoring them. This is probably when I'd pull some for small groups if they needed that one-on-one time, but this is when I would go around and I would just make sure that everybody's doing okay and we're all on the right track. And again, I would pull some of them for small group if I needed them to. So that's another thing I wanted to point out. And then another one is my candy. So you probably noticed when I was teaching lesson when they were coming out to the carpet that I was rewarding them. I was giving them something. We are a PBI school right now, so Positive Behavioral Intervention Systems, which just means that we reward the positive behaviors. So for me, I'm a big sucker for candy, so that immediate gratification. Oh, I just got a piece of candy because I came to the carpet and I sat quietly and I have my hands in my lap. It kind of just creates a chain effect. So if one student sees their classmate get a piece of candy for coming to the carpet quickly, it's just kind of like a domino effect, and everybody else kind of follows suit. So that's one thing I did that I wanted to point out why I was doing what I was doing. So candy's huge. My kiddos know that they can eat it right then and there because it's distracting, especially big candies like this, but they know they have it for later. So that's another thing that I wanted to point out. And then lastly, I wanted to point out the Toy Story Subtraction and kind of why I did it the way I did it. So this is the worksheet that goes along with the lesson. It's the worksheet I explained at the end of the lesson. So the first page is the one that everybody's doing. For differentiation, I could cut some of these. So instead of doing 6, we're going to do 3. So if I knew from the get-go that they struggled with addition, then subtraction might be something that they struggle with as well. So instead of doing all 6 problems at the front, maybe I'm just doing 3 problems at the front. So that's one thing. And then for my higher kiddos, so to speak, I have the challenge problems on the back. This just makes it more engaging for them because a lot of them might rush through the lesson and they're bored. So this is a challenge for them and kind of eliminates / prohibits those distracting behaviors, because if they get bored and they're done, then they're going to start acting out. So that's another challenge activity for my higher kiddos who don't struggle with this. The first part is just subtraction with bigger numbers, bigger than 10. And then the bottom part is just a word problem. I know they're first graders and reading is a struggle because we haven't, have that concrete yet. So I have that, but it's something that we would do as a class all together. So it's not something that I expect them to know right off the bat. That's why it's called a challenge activity. So that is a couple things that I wanted to point out why I was doing the way I was doing. So I hope you enjoyed it.